Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the series Learning Kedia. This is a sketching tutorial. If you have not watched the previous videos, I would suggest you to watch them before this one. Okay, as I said before, the basic idea of modeling is that you create a 2D sketch first, and then you will apply different features like extrusion or something else to make a 3D model. So you need to draw a 2D sketch first. So let me create this file first. I'm going to start mechanical design and part design. Let me explain this interface a little bit. Here you can see X, Y, Y, Z and ZX planes. These three planes are default. Kedia gives us these planes to work with. On the bottom you can see some options. I'll explain these. On the right also you can see some options. This is select tool. I can select something with this tool. This is the sketch option. And these are sketch based features, which means that you can use these features once you have a sketch. As I said, the sketch is planar, which means that it will be on the plane. So I need to select one plane and I will click on the sketch option. Okay, now before doing anything, go to tools, customize and toolbars and restore all contents and restore position. What this will do is, if you have closed any toolbars before, it will bring them back and it will restore their normal positions. We are not going to need this, and so I'm going to close that. Let me keep it here, and this also we don't need. Okay, let me explain the sketch interface. We have these three planes as usual, and we have part body, and inside here you can see plus option. And if I click that, there is sketch. This sketch is what we are going to draw now. On the top you can see this option. It says grid. You can show or hide the grid with this option. Next to it there is snap to point. You can activate it and see what happens. My cursor snaps to the grid points. Okay. Personally I would like to turn these two off because I don't like them. Standard element. This option is called standard element. I'll explain this later. Okay, on the right you can see there are different options, but most important toolbars in this whole entire thing is there are two toolbars, which is this one and this one as well. This toolbar contains different profiles that you can draw, and this toolbar contains constraints. I'll explain this constraint later. Let's start with the profile toolbar. Okay, on the top you can see this is called continuous profile. If I select it, it gets selected, and you can see first point. You can see on the top here it wants me to select first point. I can click points and it will create lines. If I want to create a circular arc, then I will change here. You can see tangent arc. Then it will give me an option to draw arc. Here you can see 3-point arc. I can select it, and I can select 2 more points to get an arc. I can close this profile as well. Okay, some random shape I drew. Underneath the continuous profile you can see this is a rectangle. There are a lot of options inside here, but most two important things are this corner rectangle and this center rectangle. Let's see corner rectangle. If I select this, you can see on the top here it wants me to select first point, and then it wants me to select second point. I'll click 2 points and I will get a rectangle. Okay, again in the drop down you can see this option at the end. It says center rectangle, but this is a different one. You can select center of the rectangle and you can select any edge point and it will create a rectangle for me. Okay, so those two things are important inside the rectangles. I'm going to select this and delete it. Below the rectangle you can see circle. I'm going to select it, and you can see here it wants me to select circle center. I'll click once and you can see it asks me to select point on circle. In that way you can create circles. On the drop down in the circles menu, there are different options. You can try them yourself. There is center circle, there is 3-point circle, circle using coordinates, tangent, circle, and these three things are arcs. Okay, in these three options we will use this one. It is similar to a circle, but here you can see it wants me to select arc center. I'm going to select, click once, and you can see this, it wants me to select start point. I'll click once and now it says end point. Okay, that is how you will create a circular arc. Below this circle option there is a spline. Basically, you know what spline is, right? You can click on multiple points and the spline will generate a smooth curve between those points. I'm gonna close this spline, and in order to exit this sketch feature, I can click escape and you can exit that spline option. Below that spline you can see there is ellipse, and if I select it, here you can see it wants me to select the center. I'll click once and here you can see major semi-axis endpoint, and now it says minor semi-axis endpoint. Now I have an ellipse. On the drop down you can see there is ellipse, parabola, hyperbola, and you can define your own conic. Below that you can see a line. I can select start point and end point, it will create a line. And below that this is an axis. This is like a reference line. You will use this. This is not actually in the sketch thing, but it stays as a different reference element. A similar thing is, if I select a line and as I told before, this is a standard element. You can click on the sketch and make it a standard element. Now you can see it turned into dotted line, which means that it turned into a reference line, and it is not in the sketch anymore. It is not a sketch anymore, it is a reference line now. You can turn this back into normal line by selecting it and removing the standard element option. Now it turned into a normal line. Important thing to remember here is, if you had this option on, and if you try to draw anything like a circle, it will be a standard element as well. So remember to turn this option off while drawing anything. Then it will be a sketch and it will not be a reference element. Okay. Let me tell you how to move inside CATIA, like how to navigate inside CATIA, like how to pan around, how to zoom in, zoom out, and how to rotate and all. You can see here options here. This one says pan. You can select it and pan around. Okay, let me create a rectangle so that you can see clearly. This one says pan, and you can select it and you can pan around. And this one says rotate. You can rotate the sketch. And this is zoom in and zoom out options. If you tilt the sketch somewhat, and if you want to go to normal view, you can select this one. It will go back to the normal view what we are looking before. And okay, you can do these options like panning, rotating, and zooming options with mouse itself. Okay, let me demonstrate that. In order to pan around, you have to hold middle mouse button, and you can see the cursor changing, and you can move the mouse when holding the middle mouse button. You can pan around. In order to rotate, you can hold middle mouse button and right click both, then you can rotate. And in order to zoom in and zoom out, you have to hold middle mouse button, then right click once, and you can move the mouse up or down to zoom in or zoom out. Okay, let me repeat it. In order to pan, you have to hold middle mouse button and you can move the mouse to pan around. In order to rotate, you have to hold middle mouse button and hold the right click as well, and then you can rotate. In order to zoom in and zoom out, you have to hold the middle mouse button and right click once, and you can move the mouse up or down to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, let me go back to the normal view. Okay, this option right here is called multi-view. Okay, you can look at your sketch in different views. This is an isometric view. This is some front view or something. Okay, you can exit it by clicking on it again. These are isometric views, isometric and front view, back view, left view, right view. It shows what the option does if you hover over it. Okay, I'm going to normal view back again. Let me explain constraints. If I have a line, okay, before constraints, I'll tell you this one. If I have a line, I'll select first point, and if I try to make the second point vertical to the first point, you can see the line turns blue, which means that it is a vertical line. And you can see this option right here which says V. It means that the line is vertical. Similarly, if I want to draw like this, I'll select first point and I want my second point horizontal to the first point. You can see the line turns blue, and you can see H showing up here, which means that the line is horizontal. This one is a quick constraint. You can select this and select any sketch, and it will give you the dimension for that sketch. And this length is 219.162. You can change this length by double clicking on the numerical value, and here you can change it. You can give your required length and click OK. Let me select a circle in order to demonstrate this next one. As you can see, this option is grayed out here. If I select this sketch, then it will come back up. This one allows you to do, if you click on it, it will show what all constraints you can give. And now for this circle, I can give radius or diameter, or I can fix it. I'll give radius or diameter. I'll go back again and fix the sketch. Now you can observe that the sketch has turned green color, which means that it is fully constrained and it is fixed in the space. Now you can't move the sketch. Before the sketch was white, and you can move this circle as you want. But if you fix the sketch, then it won't move. But this is not a traditional way of doing things in CATIA. In order to fix this circle, you have to fix the center point, and you can make use of this horizontal and vertical axis to do that. So observe me here. I'm going to select constraint and I'm going to select this point and this axis. There is some value, and I'll do that again for the vertical axis. Now you can see the sketch turned green again, which means that it is fixed again. This is more of a general thing to do inside CATIA. You will fix some sketch. You will fix any sketch by giving constraints. Okay. Similarly, for a line, if there is a vertical line, I will give constraint. I will give length to it first, and I will fix it endpoints with respect to the axis. Now the line turned green, which means that it is fully constrained and it is fixed inside the space. Okay. There is another toolbar inside here which is important, which is this one. As you can see, this is fillet, this is chamfer, this is trim, and this is mirror, and this is project. We'll see these four options. You know fillet, right? It will basically smooth out the edges. Let me demonstrate that with an rectangle. You can see here there is an edge. If I select this fillet and select these two lines, you can see the curve, which means that this edge is not sharp and it is smooth, and the fillet makes it smooth here. Okay, and you can see these two parallel green lines here, which makes that as you can see the tangents, it is showing tangency, which means that this line is tangent to this curve. Similarly, this line is tangent to this curve. Okay. Chamfer, can select two edges and it will give me a line. Chamfer is also like the fillet only, but it will not be smooth. That's it. For the fillet, you will get an option to change the radius, and for chamfer, you will get the length and you will get an angle to change. I'll demonstrate these two later. Let's do an example. Let's draw the sketch. I'm going to start with the outer rectangle. This outer rectangle, The length is 120 by 100. Let me select the center rectangle and I'll start from the center. I'm going to give quick constraints to it. This is 120 and this is 100. Next I'm going to make these holes. Diameter is 20 and you can see the center of this hole is from 20 from the bottom and 20 from the side as well. So I'm going to make it. Diameter is 20 and I'm going to give constraint for the center with respect to bottom edge. This is 20 and again I'm going to give another constraint from the center to the left side edge. This is also 20. Now this is the mirror option. You can mirror any sketch with respect to line or axis or plane. I want to mirror this line, I want to mirror this circle with respect to this axis. What I will do, I'll select the sketch, set mirror option and I'll select this axis. Now you can see the same replica is made with respect to this axis. Now I will select both these holes, circles, and I'll select mirror option and I'll click this axis. Now you can see the same thing is replicated twice and we got the figure. Now we have to make the middle thing. It is not exactly a rectangle. There are two semicircles on the either sides and there is rectangle. Okay, let me draw this rectangle first and I'll draw the circles later. The dimensions of this rectangle is 60 by 20. Okay, I made the rectangle. Now I have to make 20 diameter semicircles. I'm going to select semicircular arc. Now I'm going to select a point on this line and also point on this horizontal axis. Now I'm going to select the center starting point here and ending point here. I'm going to mirror this semicircle with respect to this axis. Okay, now I have these two extra lines here. I have to delete those. In order to do it, I'll do a trim. I'll select the trim option and click on this. It'll get trimmed. Now this option, you can see this option. It says exit workbench. If you click on it, you will exit the sketch workbench and come back to the part body. Okay. Now with the help of this sketch, you can do different things like extrude it, and there are different options. We will discuss later these. So that's how you create sketches inside sketch workbench. If you want to edit the sketch again, you can double click on it and you will go into sketch workbench again. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and have a nice day.